What's up, guys? Coach Matt and YouGoProBaseball.com. I'm here with Doug Bernier from Pro Baseball Insider, also an MLB middle infielder, played a little bit of first base as well, played all over.
All over the place.
In fact, he had a fielding percentage of 1,000 in the major leagues. Pretty impressive stuff.
I always said I had to do that, or if I made it unair, I'd probably get sent down real quick. So I had to field everything that was hit to me.
That's great. And we're going to talk about fielding today. We're going to talk about how to field or pick the ball in the dirt. And that happens a lot in baseball. Can you talk about it in general for any position, and then also maybe more specifically for first base?
Yeah, for sure. So picking a ball in the dirt, I mean, it doesn't matter if you play third base, shortstop, second, or first. I mean, at some point you're going to have to pick a ball in the dirt, right? And the concept is the same regardless of what position you're playing. But there's a couple things to think about. The first one is when the ball is coming to you, the first thing you want to do is get low, all right? So when I work on this with especially young infielders, what they want to do, the first thought is they want to be up here and they want to wait for it, and then they stab down for the ball. If you happen to watch the backhand video, we talk about working underneath the baseball. Same thing applies here when you're picking a ball in the dirt. So as the ball's coming, this back foot is going to be pretty much secure, right? Because it's going to be on the base. It doesn't matter if it's third, second, or first. What we're doing is, a thing I like to think about here is I actually want to put my glove on the ground. And when the ball hits the ground, that's when I can start working up. It kind of gives me a visual and a timing device, but it helps me work underneath the baseball. If I'm here and then I'm just trying to go and time the ball, it makes it really difficult to pick a ball that's in the dirt. So as the ball's coming, you know it's going to be in the dirt. Start with your glove on the ground, and then as soon as that ball hits the dirt, then you can work through it and up through the ball. A lot of times that helped me pick the ball in the dirt. Tip number 2, get to the side of the ball. So when the ball is going to hit the dirt and you see it, if it's right in front of you like this, it's going to be really hard to pick. Make it a backhand or even make it a forehand, but get to the side of the baseball. It's going to make it a whole lot easier, and work through that ball. Be aggressive with your glove. I guess that's the third tip, is be aggressive with your glove. If you get too passive and you just try to, then the ball kind of takes over. We want to be the aggressor on this. When that ball hits the dirt, be aggressive. Really work that glove through the ball. That's pretty much the only way that it's going to stick. So those 3 tips should help you, regardless of the position you play, pick a ball in the dirt a little bit easier.
Let me ask you this from the first base standpoint. When are you trying to pick that ball, and when are you trying to come off the bag and block it up? Like what situations? Well,
if the ball is going to take you where obviously you can't keep your foot on the base, then you got to get off and do anything you can just to keep it in front of you. And also, there needs to be an internal clock. Like infielders have an internal clock. When they get the ball, they need to know like when they need to release it to get a runner at first base. Same thing with a first baseman though. If you feel like the runner is going to beat the play, then you got to do everything you can to keep the ball in front of you. If there's still a chance that you can get him at first base, try to keep that foot on the bag and use those tips we talked about and try to pick the ball in the dirt.
Now let's talk about a little bit from other positions in the field. Well, even first base, but from a fielding perspective, playing yourself into that short hop versus getting stuck in the middle. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, that's a tough one. There are some balls that are just really, really tough. I think when in doubt, you just got to be aggressive with your glove and just really just go through it. Just almost be overly aggressive. Just throw that hand at the ball and see what happens. Because if you get too passive and you get that one that's the in-betweener and you don't know what to do, you're trying to go back or you don't know if you should go forward, it's really, really difficult. So just really work through that ball. That's pretty much the only chance you have on those really tough ones.
Were you a guy did you ever try to create space, or were you always coming through the ball?
No, I did try to create space. There are times, especially when you're at the corner infield positions, when I know this might be kind of off topic a little bit, but someone hits a hard line drive, top spin line drive that's going to take a tricky hop on you. There's times when you just have to kind of drop step and try to create as much space as you can. You can do the same thing when you are picking a ball. So maybe it doesn't matter the position, but if the runner is not in your way and you do have an opportunity to get out of the way and try to create space, that's always an option too. That's a little bit more difficult at first base because you have someone barreling down on you, and that could create, some contact. But at the other positions, you might be able to get away with that.
Last question I got for you in regards to picking a ball, and this one might be the toughest. What about when you got a guy stealing and you're taking the throw from the catcher at second base? A lot of those balls sometimes are in the dirt, but you still got to think about the tag. Is there anything different in that?
Okay, well, there's a couple things. The first one is, if it's an easy ball to pick, then I'm going to try to pick it and make a tag. But it's also one of those things where you can't really miss that ball, because if you do and it either kicks off your glove or squirts past you, then all of a sudden that runner can move to third base. So you got to trust yourself, and you got to know what you can and can't handle. If that ball, if it's going to be a tough pick, then you just got to almost just let the guy have the base, just keep the ball in front and keep it second base. But again, that's one of those things you have to gauge yourself, and if it's a ball that you can easily pick, then give it a try. See if you can do it and just try to make the tag as well as you can and see what happens.
Tough play.
Really tough play. I mean, basically when you're picking a ball in the dirt, it's not a science, it's more of an art and just trying to feel what works for you. It's a really difficult play, but also we know that us infielders that are on, especially at third and shortstop, when you have a first baseman that can pick the ball, it makes you a lot more confident as an infielder, and it's a tough thing to do, but when you can pick the ball, you just raise the game of all the other infielders.
Is there anything that you did to work on picks, short hops?
Yeah, when I was by myself, I would throw balls, tennis balls off the wall, and I would just work on picks. Or when I was playing first base, I would have a coach hit me fungos. I would be on the first base bag, and I would just keep it right here, and he would stand at shortstop, second base, and he would just move around the infield and just hit fungos at me, and I would just be there and just try to work on picking the ball. And so that was another drill I did.
That's awesome. That is awesome stuff. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Guys, if you like this video, go check out Doug at Pro Baseball Insider. He's also got a great newsletter. I'll leave the link down below where you can find that. Subscribe to his YouTube channel, to YouGoProBaseball. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. We don't care.
Whatever you do. Thumbs up. I want to see a thumbs up.
Hop down in the comments below and let me know if you guys have any questions. We'll both hop down there and try to answer them if we can. And thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll talk to you in the next one.
See ya.